Hey everybody, it's Grant, and today we have one of our absolute favorite things to do here on the channel, and that is a property video. So without further ado, let's get into our newest renovation. In this video, we're going to show you how we make decisions on our projects, as well as give you many ideas and tips for your future projects. And we're going to show you where we went over budget to make sure we have the absolute best value for our tenants. As you saw in our last video, the $20,100 property renovation, that we actually have filmed everything for you, from the windows all the way to the roof. And we're going to share it all with you here on YouTube in little installments on these videos, pretty much every week to week and a half, and this project was only a month. So you'll probably get 3 or 4 videos to give you some ideas on your next property renovation, and I think you're really gonna enjoy it. So the first thing that we started working on this project was changing out the windows. Now, these old windows that they have are relatively not very safe, as well as old and outdated, terrible to look at, and not very energy efficient. Now, typically I would not change windows in an apartment or a unit that I was planning on renting. The reason is you don't really get your return back on them, but my contractor very much pushed, and because my tenant has been there for over 8 years, I wanted them to have the absolute best. On top of that, being that the tenants lived there so long, there are talks for me to actually turn this into an owner finance for him and him stay there for the next 30 years until the property gets paid for. So I do want to make sure that he has something that he can be very proud of, as well as something that will last for him and his family for many years to come. Now, even though I do not pay the utilities on this unit, I do want to make sure that this is a big win for the tenant and hopefully his future home if he decides to go through with the entire rent-to-own process. So not only will this make the property way more energy efficient for them, but it'll also make it very safe for him and his entire family in the event of a fire or some reason to have to open those windows, and versus the old painted shut ones, they will have easy access and up-to-code windows to make sure him and his family are safe. This house had several leaks, and it also came from the roof and the soffit, but another major reason was for the actual windows themselves. They were also very noisy, and they let a lot of wind in because they were improperly sealed. So when it comes down to it, this will now make the house extremely quiet and give the family a great place to relax and unwind from their day, as well as be leak-free, which everyone deserves. As I said, it won't do much for me as far as an investment, but when it comes down to it, this will actually allow my tenant to be able to buy this home later on down the road and enjoy it for him and his family for many, many years to come. Me and my crew have really hit it off in the past few weeks. They've really taught me a tremendous amount, as well as I've found that they really do enjoy the demo process above all. When it comes down to it, I am extremely confident, and I've never done a renovation before when it comes to this extensive of work. So now, in the event that I go buy another home that needs work, or I buy an apartment complex that'll need work, I know that these guys and my general contractor will tackle anything that I put in front of them. As you can see here, this is their favorite part of the entire process. What they end up doing is they take out the old trim and the frame of the old windows. So as you can see here, he is removing the trim of the window, and now he's going to pop out the old window, and then he's going to cut out the old frame. Once you've removed the tired old window and tired old frame, they are going to reframe, and then they're going to put that window back in, and after a few bits more of trim and nails, we are good to go. Not only do we add tremendous curb appeal to the actual property with our new windows, but we also did something extremely special for our tenants. What we ended up doing was actually adding central AC and heat to make our tenants' lives that much better. Now, I know we went over budget, and if you guys are budget-oriented investors, you know, I get it. Don't get me wrong, and as I've said, we are planning on selling this to the tenant that has lived there for 8 years. But think about that for a second. For having a tenant live there for 8 years, sometimes you have to make a choice between tenant satisfaction and actual budgets to make sure you're going for the absolute biggest profit. I like to meet in the middle on these options, and central AC and heat has a lot of benefits. Not only does it eliminate the ugly, horrendous, terrible, atrocious looking window units all over the home, but it also increases the value of the appraisal value for the home itself. By adding central AC and heat, we are now going to have a lot better appraisal value in the future when we do plan on selling this property to the tenant or another investor. One of my favorite parts of this project, besides getting rid of those ugly window units, was the fact that I got to see them put AC in a home for the very first time in just one afternoon. Here you see them cutting the air vents for where the air will flow to the home from the AC unit. You would think that it's way more complicated than just as simple as a guy shoving a screwdriver through the ceiling and the other guy holding a box around that screwdriver while the other guy uses a saw to cut the hole and to make sure that the vent fits right. So here you see the finished product, and you'd never know the process because look how great it turned out. Here is where they cut the hole for the air return where the filter will go. This part is just the part that'll stop all that nasty stuff from getting from your floors and dust from outside and all the other dirt and grime that is always floating around in your home and actually gets caught by the filter so you do not damage the AC. Here is how it looks when it's all done, and it has been amazing to watch these guys work and how fast they have added all of this stuff to the house. So by doing all of this AC work, it also allows us to get rid of this ugly eyesore right here in the wall. This is an old wall heater that is not up to code. It is also completely a huge fire hazard, and it is terrible just to look at. So being that I figured we were already gonna have to do sheetrock because of the wall you'll see in the next video, we decided to go ahead and take care of this now and to make this home look way better, as well as we don't need a terrible fire hazard to heat these people's home. So as you can see here, it is laying in the yard in its previous glory to be hauled off to the dump. Here you can see all the ductwork being run in the attic, as well as boom, now you can see all of it as a finished product. All the ducts are suspended and ready to go. Now our tenants have central AC and heat, and we have a lot more value added to the property. And just check out this brand new outside unit and how amazing it looks versus all those nasty window units. Also, let's go to the panel and turn it on for the very first time. Now keep in mind, it was during the winter when we installed this, so it will be a little, the opposite, will be turning on the heat. Now for my other favorite part of this entire project, and I think you're really going to agree with me, demoing and changing this entire front window of this house. It was really neat to watch this whole process, and if you like this as much as I do, this is what a large portion of this channel is going to be about. A lot of awesome renovations, buying property, building property from the ground up that you don't see here on YouTube. And I am going to spend hundreds of hours filming all of these projects. That way I can share them here on the channel with you guys. So please do me a favor and share all of these videos that you possibly can out there on the internet so we can get more people to the channel and keep getting us all excited about what we're here for. Real estate, investing, personal finance, and personal growth. Here you can see them really taking this thing apart, and it's just as big as it looks. This centerpiece of this window is absolutely massive, and I can assure you it is not light in the lightest. Now, they will do the same process as they did on the smaller windows. They will end up taking out the old frame and the old tired window, and now they are going to rebox the new frame inside of this window and drop in this brand new center point and focal point of this property and give it way more curb appeal than that old dingy tired window that we had before. Wow, just look how much better this window makes this property look. Just that one window made a huge difference. So this portion of the property right here, oh, I cannot wait to share this with you. So this part right here, this whole wall, you never know what you're gonna get into on renovations, and this is tremendously the biggest, scariest part of this whole job, because this is gonna make or break if we have to rebuild this whole side of this house, what it'll totally cost. And you know, normally I'm always gonna tell you to go for cosmetics only, never go for structural, anything that you have to change or cut, because just it's way less brain damage for you in the long run. In this case, we did get this property included, right? It's not free, but it was included in that $400,000 piece of property that we did before. Getting a $400,000 piece of property was the video at a 0% loan, which is pretty cool to watch. You should check it out. And it also starts all of these other videos because we have a white house that's on that you'll see how it gets completely redone, as well as clearing the property, destroying the existing structures that are on there besides this white and this blue house, and clearing out all the trees. It's going to be fantastic and a great segment for this channel, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. So as we get into this wall right here, you're gonna see how the soffit's terrible. It's all beat up, it's all destroyed. We're gonna have to change out the whole soffit. This video is gonna be really great and all the future videos that come with it. We're gonna keep doing these updates. So here's the thing. You can see me right here actually ripping off portions of this siding because of how improperly maintained this house has been. One thing that I will never have to hear from any of my tenants, and I'm very sad that the previous landlord allowed this to happen. Grant, I just want the mosquitoes to stop biting me at night, because this is the wall to their bedroom, and it is just literally deteriorated over time. And so on the next video, I will be showing you how we tackle the problems with this and how we get rid of this terrible window unit. And that's my favorite part about this whole thing, just getting rid of these window units, one window unit at a time. So that's it for the video, guys. As you saw, I barely touched that siding and it literally crumpled in my hands. So we cannot wait to show you the next installment of this $20,100 renovation. Well, now over $20,100 because we put the central AC and heat in, and that actually cost $5,000. So I don't know if I said that in the video, but I'd like to share that with you now, that it did cost an additional $5,000, but how much to make that appraisal go up and to our tenants to have that comfort. If you like videos like this, please demolish that like button like you are finally starting and using these ideas to get that next renovation product going, as well as subscribe to our channel. We post every Wednesday and Friday, and please hit that notification bell. It'll tell you every time that we post and notify you when it goes live. On top of all of that, please comment anything that you like to see in this video, in future videos, or anything that you got inspired by on this video. I hope you have a fantastic afternoon, and I will see you on the next one.